Picture this. You're chilling on the couch. Your furry overlord is purring on your lap, and their tail is doing this slow, gentle swish. You think, ah, pure bliss. 5 seconds later, that same tail starts thumping against the cushion like a metronome of doom. And, you just know, you're one wrong move away from becoming a human scratch post. What happened? Did you breathe too loud? Think a disloyal thought? Welcome to the confusing, hilarious, and often misinterpreted world of cat-tail language. You think you know what your cat is saying, but what if I told you you're probably getting it all wrong? That innocent-looking flick isn't so innocent. Today, we're cracking the feline code. We're going to translate every twitch, puff, and quiver so you can finally understand what's going on in that beautiful, chaotic little head. Before we dive in, drop the name of your fluffy enigma in the comments below. I want to know who we're decoding today. First, let's get one thing straight. Cats are not small, furry dogs. They are tiny, domesticated predators who have graciously allowed us to live in their house and provide them with food and entertainment. Their ancestors were solitary hunters. Communication wasn't about pack dynamics. It was about saying, "This is my territory. You look like a snack." Or, "I am a terrifyingly large predator. Do not mess with me." Their tail is one of their most honest and immediate communication tools. It's like a high-definition emotional broadcast antenna, and we've been watching it on the wrong channel this whole time. It functions as a key part of their incredible balance. But more importantly for us, it's a mood ring, a signal flag, and a weapon all rolled into one. So grab your notepads, cat moms and dads, because class is in session, and understanding this is the difference between getting a gentle head boop and a surprise set of claws. Let's start with the king of all tail signals, the tail held straight up, high in the air. This is the universal feline sign for, "Hello, human. I am pleased to see you. Now where are the snacks?" It's a sign of confidence, happiness, and friendliness. When your cat greets you at the door with their tail pointing to the ceiling, they are genuinely thrilled you're home. They are welcoming you into their space with open paws. Think of it as a furry flagpole of joy, proudly announcing their affection for their favourite can opener. I mean, person. It's the equivalent of a human giving a big, happy wave. This is a behaviour they learn as kittens to signal to their mother that they are present and accounted for. So when they do it to you, they're essentially saying you're part of their core family. It's one of the highest compliments you can receive, right up there with a slow blink or a dead mouse on your pillow. So soak it in. You are loved. Or at least, you're the bringer of food, which is basically the same thing in the cat world. This is the green light for pets and affection. Don't waste this precious moment. Now, let's add a little curve to that high tail. You see your cat trotting towards you, tail held high, but with a distinct little hook or curve at the very tip, like a furry question mark. What's the question, you ask? The question is, are we about to have some fun or what? This is the tale of a curious, playful and happy cat. They're feeling inquisitive and are open to interaction. They might be wondering what you're up to, if that crinkly thing on the counter is a new toy, or if it's time for the sacred laser pointer ritual. It's a friendly greeting mixed with a dash of playful uncertainty. It's less of a formal hello and more of a, "Hey, what you doing? Can I get in on it?" This is your prime opportunity to engage them with a wand toy or a good chin scratch. They're in the mood for some bonding. Ignoring a question mark tail is like leaving your friend hanging on a high five. Don't be that person. Acknowledge the question and prepare for some high-quality playtime or some serious cuddles. This is your cat's way of inviting you into their world for a moment of shared joy, so accept the invitation with enthusiasm. Let's bring the altitude down a bit. When you see a cat's tail held low to the ground, or even parallel with it, you're seeing a more neutral or potentially negative emotion. This isn't necessarily a bad thing, it just means they're not in that super-duper happy greeting mode. A low-held tail can indicate a range of feelings from simple calmness to submission or anxiety. If their body is relaxed, they might just be chilling out, observing their kingdom from a place of quiet contemplation. However, if they are in an unfamiliar environment or around a new person or animal, this posture often signals nervousness. They're feeling unsure of the situation and are on guard. They're saying, "I'm not sure about this. I'm going to lay low and assess the situation before I make any sudden moves." It's a sign to approach with caution and let the cat come to you. A calm voice and a slow blink can help reassure them that you are not a threat. Don't mistake this for an invitation to swoop in for a hug. You might get a swift rejection. From low to oh no, if that tail goes from being held low to being tucked tightly between their hind legs, you have entered the realm of fear. This is the ultimate sign of submission, anxiety, and outright terror. A cat with a tucked tail is trying to make itself as small and non-threatening as possible. They are effectively shouting, "Please don't hurt me. I am very small and not a threat. I am invisible." You'll often see this posture paired with other fearful body language, like flattened ears, wide eyes with dilated pupils, and a crouched body. Something has seriously spooked them. It could be a loud noise, a sudden movement, or the dreaded arrival of the cat carrier, which every cat knows is a portal to the VET. When you see this, your priority is to make your cat feel safe. Remove the scary stimulus if you can. Speak in a soft, soothing voice, and avoid direct eye contact, which can be seen as a challenge. Give them a safe space, like under a bed or in a covered cat tree, where they can hide and decompress. This is a cry for security, not for cuddles. Now for a more subtle one. Your cat is lying down, perhaps gazing out the window at what they call cat TV, and their tail is doing a slow, gentle, back and forth swish. It's a rhythmic, almost hypnotic movement. This isn't a sign of annoyance, but rather one of focused contentment. They are relaxed, but their mind is engaged. They might be watching a bird, a bug, or a dust bunny with the intensity of a predator stalking its prey, but they are comfortable and secure in their environment. It's like they're saying, "I am perfectly happy right here, and I am also very interested in that thing over there." It's a peaceful state of focused awareness. This is different from the fast, agitated whipping tail we'll talk about later. The slow swish is calm. It's the tail of a cat who is a master of their domain, quietly observing and enjoying the moment. You can usually approach a slow swishing cat for a gentle pet, but always watch for other signals that their mood is changing. The tail tells a story, and this chapter is one of peace. Okay, let's speed things up. That slow, gentle swish has now turned into a fast, aggressive whip or lash from side to side. This is not a happy tail. In the world of cats, this is a clear and present warning sign. This is your cat saying, "I am becoming seriously annoyed. I am overstimulated, and if you do not cease and desist immediately, there will be consequences involving teeth and claws." You often see this during a petting session that has gone on just a little too long. One moment they're purring, the next the tail starts lashing, and you know you've crossed a line. This is a signal of irritation, frustration, or conflict. They are on the verge of aggression. The faster and harder the lashing, the more agitated the cat. Think of it as their internal frustration meter swinging into the red zone. If you see this, stop what you're doing. Back off. Give them space. Do not try to soothe them with more petting. That's like trying to put out a fire with gasoline. The whipping tail is your final warning before an attack. Heed it, and you'll save your skin. Let's zoom in on just the very tip of the tail. The rest of the tail is still, but the tip is twitching or flicking back and forth. This is a more subtle signal, and its meaning is all about context. If your cat is otherwise relaxed, a little tip twitch can signal a mild level of interest or curiosity. They've noticed something, a sound, a movement, and are paying attention. It's a sign of active engagement with their surroundings. However, if you are interacting with them, like petting them, that same tip twitch can be the very first sign of growing irritation. It's the precursor to the full-on lashing tail of annoyance. It's the yellow light before the red light. It means, Okay, I was enjoying this, but my patience is starting to wear thin. It can also happen when they're hunting a toy, a sign of intense focus and anticipation just before they pounce. The key is to look at the whole cat. Relaxed body. It's probably just interest. Tense body and flattening ears. You're about to enter the danger zone. That little twitch is a big clue. Alright, let's move from the happy zone into the danger zone. You know the look. 1 second you have a sleek, elegant tail, and the next, it's a giant, spiky bottle brush of pure fury. The fur on their tail stands straight up, making it look 2 or 3 times its normal size. This is called piloerection, and it is not a good sign. This is the cat equivalent of a human screaming at the top of their lungs while simultaneously trying to look as big and scary as possible. This is a cat that is either terrified, extremely angry, or both. It's a defensive mechanism designed to make them look more intimidating to a potential threat, whether that threat is the neighbour's dog, a terrifying vacuum cleaner, or your foot moving unexpectedly under a blanket. If you see the bottle brush, do not approach. Do not attempt to pet. Do not make eye contact. Your job is to identify the source of the terror and remove it, or remove the cat from the situation. Trying to comfort a bottle brush cat is a surefire way to get yourself redecorated with claw marks. Give them space. Let them depuff on their own time. This is their do not disturb sign, written in giant, flashing, furry letters. This next one can be confusing because it looks a bit like the bottle brush, but the emotion behind it is completely different. The quivering or vibrating tail. Your cat approaches you, tail held straight up in the air, and the entire thing vibrates rapidly, like it's plugged into an electric socket. No, your cat is not broken or having a seizure. This is a sign of extreme excitement and happy anticipation. It's one of the most endearing displays of affection a cat can show. You'll often see this when you're about to feed them their favourite meal, when you first get home from work, or when you're about to engage in a favourite play session. They are so overjoyed, they can barely contain it, and that excitement comes out through their tail. It's pure, unadulterated happiness. Some cats will even do this when they're marking their territory by spraying, but in a non-spraying, neutered house cat, this is almost always a sign of positive, high arousal emotion. It's their happy dance, and it means they absolutely adore you, or the can of tuna you're holding. Let's talk about the wraparound. This can happen in a few different ways, but it's always a sign of affection and friendship. The first is when you're sitting or lying down, and your cat comes to cuddle up with you, wrapping their tail gently around your arm, leg, or body. This is a display of deep contentment and bonding. It's like a furry hug. They are comfortable, they trust you, and they're including you in their personal space bubble. The second, and perhaps even more common, is the leg wrap. You're walking through the kitchen, and your cat trots alongside you, briefly wrapping their tail around your leg as they pass. This is a friendly greeting and a marking behaviour. They are essentially claiming you as part of their social group, mixing their scent with yours. It's the feline equivalent of walking with your arm around a friend. It's a casual, confident gesture of companionship. When a cat wraps their tail around you, they're saying, "We're a team. You're my person." It's a subtle but incredibly meaningful sign of their love for you. This is a tricky one that requires you to be a super observant cat detective. The tail might be held still, perhaps low or parallel to the ground, but the fur on it is bristled or standing on end, even if it's not a full-blown bottle brush. This indicates a state of agitation and conflict. The cat isn't in full-on fight or flight mode yet, but they are definitely on edge and feeling aggressive or defensive. You might see this when two cats are having a standoff, unsure of who is going to make the first move. The still posture shows they are trying to control themselves, but the bristled fur betrays their inner turmoil. They're like a coiled spring, ready to snap. This is a clear signal that the cat is unhappy and potentially about to become aggressive. It's a step beyond the whipping tail of annoyance. This is the quiet before the storm. If you see this, do not intervene directly. Try to de-escalate the situation by creating a distraction with a toy or a noise in another room to break their focus. It's a sign of serious cat drama in the making. Ah, the thump. Your cat is lying down, seemingly relaxed, but their tail starts thumping against the floor or the furniture. Thump, thump, thump. This is not a happy sound. It's the passive, aggressive drumming of an irritated feline. The thumping tail is a clear sign of annoyance and frustration. The cat is telling you that something is displeasing them, and they want it to stop. Maybe you're petting them in a spot they don't like. Maybe another pet is getting too close to their personal space. Maybe you've had the audacity to stop paying attention to them. The intensity of the thump often correlates with the level of their irritation. A gentle thump might be mild annoyance, but a hard, loud thwack means they are about to lose their cool. Think of it as them tapping their foot impatiently. They are not amused. When you hear the thump, it's time to assess the situation and figure out what you did wrong in the eyes of your furry overlord. Stop petting, give them space, and offer a silent apology for your transgression. Let's bust a huge myth right now, especially for people who are also dog owners. Myth. A wagging tail is always a happy sign. In dogs, a big sweeping wag of the tail usually means, "I am so happy to see you." In cats, it's almost the exact opposite. As we've discussed, a fast, whipping or lashing tail is a sign of overstimulation and aggression. A cat wagging its tail is not a friendly gesture. It's a warning. This fundamental difference in body language is the source of so many misunderstandings between cats and humans, and even between cats and dogs. A dog sees a lashing cat tail and thinks, "Oh boy, a new friend wants to play." The cat is actually screaming, "Get away from me before I unleash the fury of 1,000 tiny knives on your face." It's crucial to leave your dog language knowledge at the door when you're interacting with a cat. They are a completely different species with their own unique and sophisticated communication system. A happy cat shows affection with a high, steady tail, not a wild wag. A very important rule in Catlish is that context is everything. The tail is a huge part of the story, but it's not the whole book. You have to look at the entire cat to get the full picture. A twitching tail on a cat that's crouched low with wide, dilated pupils means something very different than a twitching tail on a cat that's lounging in a sunbeam with its eyes half closed. You need to read the tail in conjunction with the ears, the eyes, the whiskers, and the overall body posture. Are the ears flattened back in anger or perked forward in curiosity? Are the eyes wide with fear or giving you the loving, slow blink? Are the whiskers pointed forward with interest or pulled back against the face in anxiety? A high tail with flattened ears is a sign of an unhappy, conflicted cat. A swishing tail with a relaxed body is a contented cat. Never interpret a single signal in isolation. Becoming a true cat whisperer means learning to read all these signals together to understand the complex emotional state of your feline friend. Have you ever watched your cat sleep and noticed their tail twitching, flicking, or even giving a full-on thump? You might worry that they're having a bad dream, or that you've somehow managed to annoy them even in their sleep, which, let's be honest, is entirely possible. But don't worry, tail twitches during sleep are completely normal. Just like humans, cats experience different stages of sleep, including REM, rapid eye movement sleep, which is when dreaming occurs. During this phase, you might see their paws twitch, their whiskers wiggle, their mouths make little suckling motions, and yes, their tail will flick and twitch. They are likely deep in a dream, probably about chasing a particularly juicy mouse, catching that elusive red dot, or finally achieving their ultimate goal of world domination. It's just their brain processing the day's events and their hunting instincts playing out in their subconscious. So next time you see their tail twitching in their sleep, just smile and wonder what grand adventures they're on in dreamland. We talked about the tail wraparound, but let's focus on a specific, heart-melting variation, the tail hug. This is when your cat is sitting on your lap or next to you and very deliberately drapes their tail over you. They might lay it across your arm, your leg, or even your neck if they're feeling particularly affectionate. This is an incredibly powerful gesture of trust, affection, and possession. By placing their tail on you, they are physically connecting with you and marking you with their scent. It's an intimate act that says, "You are mine and I feel completely safe and comfortable with you." It's a step beyond just cuddling next to you. It's an active gesture of bonding. They are sharing their personal space and their most vulnerable signal, their tail, with you. If your cat gives you a tail hug, you have officially reached the highest levels of cat-human friendship. Cherish it. You have been chosen. It's a quiet, beautiful way for them to say, "I love you." Now for a more somber signal, if you notice your cat's tail is consistently hanging down, limp and drooping, with no energy or movement, it can be a sign that they are not feeling well or are in pain. A healthy, happy cat usually carries its tail with some degree of life and purpose, even when it's in a neutral position. A tail that just hangs listlessly, especially if it's combined with other symptoms like lethargy, hiding, or a lack of appetite, is a significant red flag. It can indicate illness, injury, or even depression. Cats are masters at hiding their pain, so subtle signs like a drooping tail are often one of the first clues that something is wrong. Don't dismiss it as them just being lazy. If this posture persists for more than a day, or is accompanied by any other concerning behaviours, it is absolutely time for a checkup with the vet. Your cat can't tell you they're hurting in words, so their tail has to do the talking for them. Listen to what it's saying. This is one of the most entertaining tail movements to watch. Your cat has spotted a toy, a bug, or your unsuspecting ankle. They crouch down low to the ground. Their eyes go wide, their pupils dilate, and their back end starts to wiggle back and forth, with their tail held low and twitching in anticipation. This is the pre-pounce butt wiggle. It's a classic hunting behaviour. The wiggle helps them position themselves and test their balance, preparing to launch their body forward with maximum power and accuracy. The low twitching tail shows their intense focus and contained excitement. They are a coiled spring of predatory energy about to be unleashed. While it looks hilarious and adorable to us, for your cat, this is serious business. They are channeling their inner lion, preparing to take down their prey. So when you see the butt wiggle, get ready for action. Something, whether it's a feather wand or a bottle cap, is about to meet its doom. It's a wonderful reminder of the tiny, powerful predator living in your house. Do kittens communicate differently with their tails than adult cats? For the most part, the language is the same, but kittens are still learning and are much more expressive. A kitten's tail is often a non-stop broadcast of every single emotion they're feeling. They haven't yet learned the subtlety of a seasoned adult cat. Their happy question mark tails are more exaggerated. Their playful twitches are more frantic, and their bottle brush of fear can appear at the slightest provocation, like a sock falling on the floor. Watching a kitten's tail is like watching their brain work in real time. They are also learning how to use their tail for balance, so you'll see a lot more clumsy and awkward movements as they master their coordination. The core signals, like the high tail for greeting their mother, or you, are innate, but the nuance and control come with age. So, if your kitten's tail seems to be going a mile a minute, don't worry. They're just a very enthusiastic and slightly clumsy student of the feline language. Finally, let's put it all together. As we said, context is key, and combining signals is the advanced level of cat language. A high tail is good, but what about a high tail that is also puffed up? This signals a cat that is trying to be aggressive and intimidating, but is also potentially fearful, a conflicted state you might see in a standoff. What about a low, fast-whipping tail? That's a cat who is both defensive and extremely agitated, a very dangerous combination. A tail held high with a quiver is pure excitement, but a tail held low with a quiver could be a sign of anxiety or preparation to spray. By learning the individual signals first, you can now start to read the more complex sentences your cat is telling you. Pay attention to the height, the movement and the fur, and combine that with what their ears and eyes are doing. The more you observe, the more fluent you will become in this beautiful silent language. You'll move from being a confused owner to a true confidant for your furry best friend. So there you have it, the complete, uncensored dictionary of cat tail speak. From the happy question mark to the thump of doom, you're now equipped to understand the constant silent monologue your cat has been giving you. That tail is more than just a fluffy appendage. It's a window into their soul, or at least into whether they want food or want you to leave them alone. And even though they might go from purring angel to thrashing demon, in 2.5 seconds, understanding them just a little bit better makes it all worthwhile, because at the end of the day, we are their willing servants, and we wouldn't have it any other way. If this video helped you finally crack your cat's code, please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive into the feline psyche. And share this with any cat parent who is still living in blissful ignorance. Now for our final question, what's the weirdest thing your cat's tail has ever done? Let us know in the comments below.